Get ready. Everything you thought you could lean on is about to come crashing down around you, and it's going to feel like the ground itself is betraying you. Love, that sneaky little devil, tricked you with its honeyed words, and you swallowed every single one without a second thought. Hook, line, and sinker. This isn't just some casual cosmic hiccup or a fleeting moment in the stars you can shrug off. Around March 27th, when Venus glides into Pisces, the masks people wear, the ones you've trusted, start peeling away, and the cold, hard truth smacks you right in the face with no warning. But here's the wild part. Even though that date hasn't hit yet, you're already catching the echoes of it, like ripples moving backward in time. This energy is so intense, so impossible to ignore, that it's going to rattle your bones, whether you're a believer in astrology or the type who rolls their eyes at it. The dreamy haze you've been floating in is starting to thin out, like fog burning off under a harsh sun. Some people are going to snap out of it and see the world with a clarity that shakes them to their core, while others will dig their heels in, scream it's not real, and bolt from the truth as fast as they can. But no one's slipping through this unscathed. Something about you is on the verge of flipping upside down, too, and it's not going to be subtle to anyone watching from the outside. It'll be so glaringly obvious to the people in your orbit, your friends, your family, that random coworker who always seems to notice too much. But you're going to be blissfully oblivious, wandering through your days like nothing's changed at all. Keep your eyes peeled because this shift is going to mess with how people respond to you, how they talk to you, even how they look at you when you're not paying attention. It's like you're about to step into a new version of yourself without even realizing you've shed the old skin. I'll circle back and unpack that more later, so don't wander off just yet. There's more to dig into here. First, though, let's tear into the biggest lie you've been spoon-fed about soulmates, the one that's probably shaped every romantic hope you've ever had. Yeah, it's going to sting a little, maybe more than you're ready for, because it's personal. You've been sold this glossy fairy tale that a soulmate is your one perfect match, some destined other half crafted just for you by the universe, waiting out there to complete your story. But what if that's a load of nonsense? What if soulmates aren't meant to stick around for the long haul, holding your hand through life, but instead crash into you like a wake-up call, here to shake you out of your sleep and then bounce? Over the next few weeks, some of you are going to feel your relationships, romantic or otherwise, start to wobble like a house of cards in a breeze. That person you've pinned all your forever dreams on, the one you've built up in your head as untouchable and faded, you might start noticing the flaws, the little cracks in the perfect picture you painted, and it'll unsettle you. Or maybe it's the opposite. Someone you brushed off years ago, wrote off as a footnote in your story, suddenly starts pulling at you, like there's a thread between you that never really snapped. This Venus in Pisces energy isn't about locking down the one or tying a neat bow on your love life. It's about clawing back the chunk of yourself you handed over in the name of love, the part you didn't even know you lost. When that realization lands, it's like a bomb going off in your chest. Everything you thought you understood flips on its head, and you're left staring at a whole new game board. It's not just a tweak. It's a full-on rewrite of what you thought mattered. And the wildest thing, you might not even see it coming until it's already done, because this shift sneaks up quiet but hits loud. But hold up, there's a curveball in all this, and it's a doozy. This energy doesn't just lay the truth bare and call it a day. It's tossing a test your way, a pop quiz you didn't study for, and most people are going to flunk it without even knowing they're being graded. The universe isn't trying to smash you into pieces. It's holding up a mirror to see what you still cling to, what old stories you're still buying into even after all this time. Even though Venus hasn't officially parked in Pisces yet, you're already feeling the early tremors, a strange tug at your gut, a restless flutter in your heart that you can't quite pin down. It's subtle, like a whisper you're not sure you heard, but it's there, stirring up the foundations of what you call love. This isn't just another box to check on the astrology calendar. It's a full-on spiritual gut check, a moment where you're forced to face yourself. Old habits are creeping back like uninvited guests. Those times you talk yourself into seeing the best in someone even when the evidence says otherwise. The boundary between what's real and what you want to be real is paper thin right now, and it's easy to trip over it if you're not watching your step. This is where the real challenge kicks in. Will you tumble back into the same tired pattern, mistaking a fleeting spark for something eternal? Or will you finally cut through the noise and see what's actually there? Some people are going to get so tangled up in the pretty daydreams that they'll turn a blind eye to the truth, staring them down, choosing the comfort of the lie over the sting of reality. It's not just about who you're kissing or crushing on. This is about growing up on the inside, about how you wrestle with wanting someone, chasing beauty, or getting lost in desire. When the universe dangles a shiny illusion and a flashing warning sign in front of you at the same time, it's a fork in the road. Some will bomb the test, chasing after ghosts, drowning in the what could be, and tripping over the same delusions they swore they'd left behind. But others, they'll nail it, walking out of the haze with their head clear and their feet steady, done with the games for good. And that's when something even bigger starts to spark. When life starts pressing down too hard, your soul gets antsy, itching for a trapdoor to slip through. And right now, that urge is buzzing in the air like static. This isn't just about wanting a breather or a lazy day under the covers. It's a deeper pull, like you want to erase yourself from the map for a while and let the world spin without you. It's hitting everyone in its own weird way. Some will get lost in the past, replaying old scenes in their head like they can edit the ending if they think about it hard enough. Others will numb out, gluing themselves to screens, binge-watching shows, scrolling feeds, chasing any cheap hit of feel-good they can grab onto. And for a handful, the temptation to just switch off completely, to feel nothing at all, is going to creep in strong and dark, like a shadow they can't shake. It's a slippery slope, and you've got to keep an eye on yourself. Catch those moments when you want to ghost your whole life, ditch your responsibilities, or float off into some fuzzy nowhere land where nothing hurts. That's the Pisces vibe doing its thing. It blurs the edges of everything, softens the sharp corners, makes reality feel like a watercolor painting left out in the rain. You might catch yourself wanting to drift away, to forget the weight of it all and just exist in the ether for a bit. But here's the secret sauce. Ducking out doesn't have to be a dead end. If you steer it right, this could be a goldmine of inspiration, one of the most electric, creative stretches you've ever had. This is the stuff poets live for, the fuel artists guzzle, the playground dreamers run wild in. Ideas and visions are bubbling up from places you didn't even know existed. So if you're feeling that pull to retreat, don't just sink into the void and call it a day. Turn it into something real. Scribble it down, splash it on a canvas, sit with it and let it breathe. Let your mind wander, but give it a leash. Steer it toward meaning instead of letting it dissolve into nothing. If you're sloppy with it, this energy can drag you under like quicksand. But if you ride it smart, it'll launch you into something bigger than you ever expected. Not every heartbreak is a funeral march. Some are jailbreaks in disguise, setting you loose when you didn't even know you were locked up. Right now, something in your love life is fraying at the seams, unraveling like a sweater you've pulled one too many threads from. And it's messy. If it feels like your heart's splintering, it's because it is. And that's not a flaw in the plan. It's the whole point. Venus in Pisces isn't storming in to torch love itself. It's here to burn down the illusions you've been cozying up to, the ones you didn't even realize were fake until they started smoking. It's shredding the scripts you've written about relationships, soulmates, and what you swore love was supposed to look like, leaving you blinking at the ashes. For some, this is going to hit like a gut punch. A connection you thought was bulletproof starts trembling, or that person you labeled the one feels like they're slipping through your fingers. Maybe nothing's even breaking on the surface, but inside, there's this quiet, gnawing ache telling you something's off, something's shifting, and you can't ignore it. Here's the unfiltered truth, the kind you might want to dodge. If something's crumbling now, it's because it was never built on solid ground. It was all smoke, mirrors, and wishful thinking, a house of cards you propped up with hope. Venus in Pisces is ruthless about it. It doesn't let the fake stuff survive the heat. But don't twist this into some cosmic slap. It's a gift, a sacred teardown that clears the junk so something real can grow. Some of you are going to fight it anyway, scrambling to patch the leaks, convincing yourself it's just a rough patch, that love's worth battling for even when it's bleeding out. Deep down, though, You can tell the difference between fighting for something worth it and clinging to wreckage that's already sunk. If it's slipping away now, let it slide. Don't waste your strength on a lost cause. On the other side of that mess is freedom, the kind that realigns your soul with where it's supposed to be. The real danger isn't in the goodbye. It's in chaining yourself to something that was never yours to keep. Sometimes we don't ache for the person. We ache for the version of ourselves we left behind with them. The one that felt alive in a way we can't quite touch anymore. Something odd is brewing, and it's going to sneak up fast. Over the next few days, you might feel yourself tumbling headfirst into feelings for someone all over again, like a rerun you didn't sign up for. Before you pick up the phone, before your thumb hovers over that send button, pause and ask yourself one thing, slow and deliberate. Are you falling for them? Or are you falling for the echo of what they used to mean to you? Venus in Pisces is like a time warp for your heart. It scrambles the lines between then and now, making old emotions feel as fresh as if they happened yesterday. An ex you'd buried in the past digs their way back into your head. A name you hadn't whispered in years stabs at you out of nowhere, and suddenly your chest is tight with a longing you thought you'd outrun. It's disorienting, and it feels like the universe is dropping hints. But here's the catch, the thing no one warned you about. Sometimes what you're pining for isn't even real anymore. It's a snapshot frozen in time, not the flesh and blood person they are today. Maybe they've moved on, grown into someone new. Maybe you have, and you're just chasing the ghost of who you were together. Nostalgia's a slick little liar. It wraps the past in rose-colored light and blinds you to the present, making you romanticize what's gone instead of facing what's here. You could end up running after a mirage, stuck in the same loop, texting them, daydreaming, replaying the highlights like it'll bring them back. Or you could snap the cycle clean in half and walk away. Not every love story deserves an encore. Some are just chapters, not the whole book, meant to teach you who you were and show you how far you've come. So before you dive into that rabbit hole, double check. Is this love knocking, or just a memory that's too stubborn to fade? Not everyone flailing in deep water wants a rope tossed their way. Some just want someone to sink with them, to share the cold and the quiet. Something's about to light up inside you, sharp and sudden, a gut instinct, a pull to swoop in and save someone from their own chaos. Maybe it's an ex who's spiraling, a friend who keeps picking the wrong crowd, or even a stranger whose pain hits you like a brick before they've said a word. It's like their hurt plugs straight into you. Their struggle starts feeling like it's yours to fix, like you've been drafted into their war without signing up. That's the trap Pisces lays out. It fuzzes up the lines between you and them, turning your compassion into something so heavy it swallows you whole. You don't just care, you soak it up, absorbing every drop until you're carrying their weight right alongside your own. And before you know it, you're both going under. Stay sharp, because not every kind of love patches things up. Sometimes it just tears you open wider. This energy can fool you into thinking neediness is closeness, that you're building something deep, when really you're just sinking into quicksand. You might cast yourself as the hero, swearing you're destined to pull them out, that if you love them hard enough, they'll finally climb into the light. But that's a fairy tale. Here's the brutal bit. Love doesn't fix someone who's not ready to be fixed, no matter how much you pour in, no matter how much you bleed for it. They've got to want it, and some don't. Some people aren't looking for rescue. They just want company in the dark, someone to hold their hand while they drown. Love them, sure, but don't lose yourself in the process. Keep your head above water. The ones who truly fit your life won't need you to wreck yourself to prove it. If you dodge this lesson now, if you don't learn to step back and draw a line, Venus in Pisces will ram it home later, and it'll hurt twice as bad. Energy doesn't mess around. It's the first thing people pick up on before you even open your mouth, a silent signal that screams louder than words. Remember when I said something about you is shifting, something so loud everyone else catches it but you're blind to it? This is that moment unfolding right now. Venus calls the shots on your vibe, the invisible wave you send out into every room you walk into. And as it dips into Pisces, that wave stops being a ripple and turns into a tide, wild, fluid, soaking up everything it touches. People are going to start acting off around you, lingering looks that stretch a beat too long, some drawn in like you're an old friend they can't place, others pulling back like you're too much to handle. and you'll be strolling through it all clueless. It's not about your haircut or your outfit. It's your frequency. The hum you give off before you even say hi. And right now, that hum is cranked up to 11. Pisces flips a switch. You're pulling people in without lifting a finger. Your essence dialed up so high it's almost unfair. But here's the flip side. The part you've got to watch. Your energy's a sponge, too, sopping up whatever's floating around. Other people's highs, their lows, their static. If you don't keep it in check, if you let it run wild, you'll start hauling around their junk like it's yours, weighed down by chaos you didn't sign up for. Keep it tight. Keep it rooted. Don't let the wrong voices hijack your signal. How people react to you now, whether they lean in or flinch away, isn't about them. It's a mirror bouncing back what you're beaming out. You're a walking broadcast, and the station's live. Tune it careful, because this shift is rewriting how the world reads you, and you won't even feel the ink drying. If you keep scrounging for love outside yourself, you're going to end up with empty hands and a tired heart. This whole retrograde is a wrecking ball swinging through the lies you've built your life around. It's peeling back the layers of neediness, the daydreams you've mistaken for fate, the pain you've polished up and called romantic. It's stripping it all bare and shoving you face to face with the one person you've been ducking you, the love you've been chasing like it's a prize, the one you're sure will stitch you back together, the one you've bet your happiness on finding out there. It's been you the whole time, hiding in plain sight, waiting for you to stop running. Most people can't stomach that. They're spooked by their own shadow, terrified to sit still and look at what's staring back. That's why they keep chasing the ones who can't love them, why they settle for scraps and maybe someday, instead of demanding the real deal. It's easier to hunt than to stop and ask, what if I'm already enough? Venus in Pisces is your crash course. It's flipping every assumption you've had about connection, cracking open the illusions you've hugged tight, and daring you to see what's left when the fairy dust settles. This is your doorway, your split-second chance to either clutch the fake stuff like a lifeline or step into what's solid and true. Pick yourself. Choose the messy, honest truth over the pretty lie. And that's when the real love, the kind that doesn't need a co-star, starts rolling in. You've got to decide, and the clock's ticking. This isn't a drill. Thanks for hanging with me this far. If this hit you where it counts, smack that subscribe button for more. Toss your thoughts or your own stories in the comments. I'm all ears. Catch you next time. Stay safe out there.